Welcome to Ladera Ranch and welcome to Reese Imhoff Field. So good to see you guys. It's quite the honor that you guys are giving us to be here. You know, my name is Paul Imhoff, Christy Imhoff over there. You guys know Max very well. You know, before I begin, I've got to really thank all of you, but especially the coaches. You know, when the travel arrangements were going south, we were trying to accommodate and make sure that we could do it. And I was like, hey, Coach Stup, we can come to you guys. And he goes, no, it's got to be on Reese's field. So to Dixon, to Malinsky, to Jack, to everybody that's a part of this to make this happen, thank you so much. You know, where's Scott Stevenson? He's the president of Ladera Ranch Little League. He was the one that also helped us make this happen. You know, from the fields getting prepped to having the permits to do this. Just thank you so much. And where's Carter, Scott? Carter, where are you? He's right behind you. He's a little 9-year-old, right? He wants to be a Yale catcher someday. So he's a stud. So Carter, thanks for coming, buddy. All the players' parents and even grandparents, it's so good to see you guys here and make this special for us. I've been fortunate to spend some time with you in Seattle and then back in New York. So it's been really great to, you know, Coach Stuper always talks about the Yale family. And my God, you guys make us feel like family for sure. So thank you for that. Team Imhoff. You've seen all these guys. You guys are going to have a heck of a cheering section this weekend, man. So Team Imhoff, they've been with us from day one. We've raised our kids together, and it's just great that you guys are here too. So thank you very much for that. You know, Christy and I have lived in Ladera Ranch for 19 years, and 7 of those years have probably been on these fields at some point. If I wasn't working, I was here. We always volunteered. We were coaches. We were team mom. We always did stuff. Max up here and Reese did soccer over there, flag football down there. We were practicing lacrosse. You know, then you had AA, AAA, then majors field here. So a lot of time that you spend here. And with that, you spend so much time with people, as you guys all know, that you start to become really close friends with the people that are cheering your kids on. So we've developed the closest relationship with friends here that we can. You know, and as far as kids, you know, they develop their lifelong friends, and they start to develop their character, right? Their you know, love for the game, love for baseball, love for whatever sport they're playing. They learn discipline. They learn how to handle pain and push through it. They learn how to perform under pressure. They learn how to be a good sport and a good teammate. And you know, that's really where the character starts, is right here on these fields. So it's just more than a sport. It's where you guys start to become and develop who you are today. So, you know, and just a few months after Reese walked off this field as an all-star the last time, you know, he was diagnosed with a rare bone cancer called Osteosarcoma. Max is going to get into his journey, but I can tell you that all the traits and all the things that he had to push through here on these fields, he used, and it was in full display in that hospital. And Reese just pushed through and throughout his whole journey. So I think his character is the reason why this community lifted us up, but also renamed this field after him. You know, and Christy and I were humbled because Scott wanted to have us give away the first annual Reese Imhoff Inspire Award. So we missed the Auburn game, but we were here. And, you know, when you guys have gone to Cooperstown, you know, they do a little parade and they walk you through and you come through the field and they all park you around the field. Well, that weekend we had about 1,000 kids in this outfield, you know, talking about the Reese Imhoff Award. You know, it was so cool that Scott, after we spoke and gave the kid 1 out of 1,000 kids because of his character on and off the field, Scott, you know, talked back to the players and goes, who wants to be the next Reese Imhoff? And 1,000 kids, you know, raise their hand. And it's just something really special because this is one of the largest little leagues in the country. And for us to be able to have that award here and carry on Reese's legacy and his character just means so much to us. So Thank you again, Scott, for that. And I think that's a good segue for me to invite Coach Stuper up. He's going to say a few words and then introduce Max. But, I think his whole priority is, getting men that have character. And what I've seen over the last few weeks, you guys are top-notch people. And so with that, let's bring Coach Stuper up. Thanks, Coach.
Hey, everybody. Well, I won't be long. I just want to say it's an honor for us to be here. Yes, we do talk a lot about the Yale baseball family. A lot of teams talk about it, but I'm happy to say that it's a true thing with our team. And that goes beyond just the guys on the team. It's their immediate family. It's beyond their immediate family. I am blessed to coach these guys because they're just great human beings, number one. I'm blessed to have the parents of these guys as a support group, and my alums are absolutely amazing. As most of you know, this is my last year coaching Yale, but I hope I will remain. I hope I'll remain part of the Yale family, and I hope that you'll feel free to call me if you need anything. But we're here today to officially welcome Reese into the Yale baseball family, officially. And we're really, really happy to do this. I'm sure, like most of you, you saw the video that was posted on our website, and I'm sure, like most of you and me, you cried each time you watched it. I've watched it a number of times. And I was struck by many things in that video. But one of the things I was struck the most by was Reese's toughness. And I've talked to Max a lot about that. Every time they started to take something away from him, he just said, okay, I'll do this. And then they'd take something else away and said, all right, I'll do this. For a young man that age to have that attitude, that strength, is just amazing to me. He's one of my heroes, and I never met him, but he's one of my heroes. And because of that strength, I talked to Max about this. I consider myself kind of tough. Okay, I'm older, but I consider myself kind of tough. So when I found out that Reese's nickname was the Beast, I said to Max, hey, what a cool nickname. I said, I'm pretty tough. Maybe I could be Beast 2.0. And Reese, if you know Reese at all, he's going to be the most respectful person to authority you'll ever meet. And he just kind of said, yeah, Coach, nah, you're not even close. And so I walked away with my tail between my legs and, went down to the bullpen. Again, and then I went home and watched the video again, and I said, you know what, he's right. Max, Josh Schulman committed you, and when he committed you, I had never seen you play. And he said, Stoop, we're committing this guy as much for his character as we are for his playing ability. Your character obviously was obvious from the beginning. How you handled this situation too, it must have been just so hard. But he never told me, he didn't really tell me you ran 6'6" as a catcher and had a cannon arm too. So that's been a nice plus too. And we're so happy to have you as part of our program. And I talked to Max about, he had his first start against the Power 5 against Washington in the final game of the series. A game that we won 1-0. And Max played great behind the plate. Again, this is a Power 5 on their field, and Max was flawless behind the plate. And lo and behold, we win 1-0, and guess who drove in the winning run? Max drove in the only run of the game with a line shot up the middle, and we were able to hold on. I talked to him after the game, and he said, it was hard for him to not hold back tears. And I said, Reese would have loved that. Or Reese did love that game. He would have loved seeing you out there playing so well, honoring his memory, which you've done your whole life. You've spent your short life, honoring your brother. And I can't say anything better than that. That anybody could do anything better than that. So, Reese, welcome to the Yale baseball family. I wish if I could have known you. I wish even more that I could have coached you, because would have had extra toughness on the team, and I probably would have talked them out of lacrosse and back into baseball. Okay, but we are as a family, and we are a family, and he is now part of that. All of the parents that are here, thank you for coming to honor Reese. I really appreciate that. I appreciate the support you give to your kids. When I look back on this journey that I've had for 30 years, I won't be thinking about wins or championships or things like that. I just won't. I'll be thinking about relationships, and the relationships that I've been able, blessed to form. And with the Imhoffs, this is going to be extra special for me to look back on. And we couldn't be happier to be here. You're thanking us for being here. We wouldn't have missed this for the world. I don't care if we were late for the game. I really don't care. This was a special young man. If you have not seen the video, watch it. Watch it. It's amazing. And just as amazing is his family and the strength that they have shown, especially his big brother, who calls Reese his hero. Well, Max is one of my heroes for the way he's handled all of this. So God bless them. And with that, Max, why don't you come up and tell us a little bit about your brother?
Hey everyone. Well, I just want to say how surreal this is for me right now. I never thought that my team from across the country would be on my brother's field. This is absolutely amazing. So first, I'd like to give a huge thanks to Coach Stuper, Coach Dixon, Coach Keene, Coach Blinsky, and Jack for making this event possible today. I would have never thought that my Ivy League team from the East Coast would ever step foot on my Little League field, now named after my brother, Reese Imhoff. When Coach Stuper told me he had the idea of bringing you all here today, nothing could mean more to me than that. And I want to thank you guys, my teammates, for being willing to come here and give me the opportunity to share about my brother. This field represents my childhood, my family's innocence before the storm, where I found the love of the game, where I competed with and against my brother. I know each of you can relate to the best of time as being on your own Little League field, so you will understand how symbolic this is for all of us. My brother is just 16 months younger than me. We are best friends, and we were inseparable. The famous quote, "To build it, and they will come," from the movie Field of Dreams, resonates so strongly with me today. My brother metaphorically built this field with his courage, his strength, his tenacity, his character, and his strong love towards those around him. Just like in the movie, Reese built this field, and today, our Yale baseball team came to it. People might say that Reese lost his battle with cancer, but nothing could be further than the truth. Babe Ruth said, "You just can't beat the person who never gives up." That's my brother Reese. Cancer didn't beat my brother for the one simple yet profound reason. Reese never gave up, and because of that truth, he never lost anything. In my eyes, he won. Reese loved baseball. And because he was an absolute tank, Reese was affectionately known as Big Papi. During his last season of Little League, he was on the All-Star team that won the district and was 3 games away from the Little League World Series. In addition to baseball, Reese especially excelled at lacrosse and football, lacrosse being his favorite. Reese was known for several traits. his athleticism, his zest to say yes, his tenacity in everything he did, but most of all, he was known for being a friend to all. He was super popular, yet he always sought out the kid in the room or the teammate who was hurting or maybe needed encouragement. When Reese got sick, these qualities did not fade to the background. If anything, these qualities in Reese emerged even more. Just one example of this was when Reese was given the opportunity to drop the hockey puck out at the Anaheim Ducks game. The offer was given to Reese in hopes to encourage him during his battle. Instead, Reese told my mom to thank them, but to give it to a kid that really needed the encouragement. He did this with every offer he received, even though Reese was the one who had it worse. Reese was so incredibly selfless in this way, and I was blessed that I got to experience it firsthand. I didn't realize this then, but Reese would always toughen up a little bit more when I was around to make sure that I didn't worry too much about him. He did this intentionally, so I would stay on a good and healthy path to continue to excel in school and in baseball. I will forever be grateful for this act, because I wonder where I would be if Reese did not do this for me. Imagine being 12 years old and being told that you have a rare bone cancer that is incredibly difficult to cure. And knowing this, Reese never let that stop his fight over the next 3 years. For a cancer that usually only has 4 chemos, Reese endured 19 different chemotherapies. He was the first in the world to take on treatments never tried, knowing that if it didn't help him, it might help someone else. He spent over 300 nights in the hospital and had 7 major surgeries. He had his right knee and femur bones replaced internally and had over 40% of his pelvis removed. He learned to walk again, not once, but twice. When his surgeon told him it would take months to move after his pelvis surgery, let alone walk, Reese defied the odds again and walked on just day 14 with the help of a walker. He defied the odds and never let the doctors define him, but rather forged his own path and blew the doctors away. He earned the nickname Reese the Beast. On the back of his shoes, he would engrave the name Beast, and on the other shoe, he would engrave Joshua 1:9. This would be Reese's life verse, which said, "Be strong and courageous, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go." The best example of how Reese embodied Joshua 1:9 was how he would reinvent himself during this journey. When he lost the ability to play traditional sports, he took up archery to get that competitive spirit out. He taught himself how to fly a professional drone and took amazing photos that are now all over our home. He took up cooking, fishing, woodworking, magic, and building RC cars. He never felt sorry for himself. Rather, he would pour himself into these new hobbies and would continue to celebrate everyone he loved in life, his friends and his family. Another story that shows how my brother's character was early on in his journey. He was asking my mom questions about the disease, and he understood at this point how devastating it was. He asked my mom, "What are the chances that I might know someone who has this same disease?" My mom explained that it was so rare that the chances of that happening were incredibly slim. Reese simply said, "Well then, I guess I'm taking one for the team." That's Reese. Because of my brother's inspiration, a record amount of money was donated to research for osteosarcoma. More money was donated in just 1 year than over the lifetime of this disease. Because of Reese, the number is now over $5 million. It's devastating that this research did not come in time for my brother. But because of Reese, I absolutely believe that his life will save others one day. Not only do I believe Reese brought our team here today, He also gave me some amazing signs from the other side of heaven. I would like to share some of these with you. Just a couple of months after Reese moved to heaven, I went to the Stanford baseball camp. I didn't want to do it, but I knew I had to keep pushing the way Reese did. It was at this camp that Schulz saw me play. That night, I had my first phone call from Schulz, and I'm sure like all of you was stoked to talk to him. That same night, one of my mom's best friends had a visit from Reese in her dream. In the dream, Reese was wearing an all-white baseball uniform and told her that he never leaves my side. A couple of weeks later, another best friend of my mom's had another visit in her dream. In this visit, he said he was preparing a magical baseball journey for me. Shortly after that, I went on my visit to Yale. Schulz and Dixon were showing me the locker room, and Schulz randomly pulled out Rohan's jersey number 33. He didn't know that was Reese's number in lacrosse and my number in baseball at the time, so I felt like it was another sign from Reese. It was then on the 1-year anniversary of Reese's funeral service that I got a call from Schulz offering a spot on the team. That same day, my dad went to Google Earth to see where Yale's baseball field was and noticed it was next to the lacrosse field, which was Reese's favorite sport. We were blown away when we saw that the name of the field was Reese Stadium. We went on to the ground level of Google Earth, and the photo showed the scoreboard, showing the time mid-game of 13 minutes and 33 seconds. 13 was Reese's number in baseball, and 33 was his number in lacrosse. I firmly believe that this was a sign from Reese. And then later on, I learned that our teammate Brian Reese's family was responsible for the lacrosse field, and that Brian would have his own battle with cancer. I couldn't be happier that Brian is cancer-free. In my mind, these can't be coincidences at this point, rather undeniable signs from my brother. If I were to tell you all of the signs that Reese has given us since he has moved to heaven, we would be here literally all day. So to be standing here on this field today, after receiving so many signs from my brother, and now being a part of this Ivy League team, is a full circle moment. And I could have never imagined it. But the biggest sign we received was a miracle during our darkest time. It has to do with this little wooden coin. So the first week that Reese was diagnosed over 6 years ago, my dad's friend, Mr. Horvath, gave my dad this coin. On one side it had the word faith written, and on the other side had the word fear. Mr. Horvath explained to my dad that he couldn't imagine how hard the journey was going to be, but that he was giving my dad this coin to remind him when times are hard and you are full of fear, to pull the coin out of his pocket as a reminder to choose faith. And Mr. Horvath explained that there's a very thin line between choosing faith and choosing fear. Over the next 3 years of Reese's battle, my dad always kept this coin in his pocket as a reminder to choose faith. He only took the coin out at night, and the next day before leaving for work, he put the coin back in his pocket. I'll now fast forward to the hardest part of my family story. My brother moved to heaven on March 10th, 2019, just 3 short years ago. We were, of course, devastated, and I couldn't believe that this had actually happened. A few days later, my mom was on her knees praying to God and to Reese out loud. She was crying and begging them both for a sign that Reese was okay and in heaven with God. The next day, we went to the mortuary to see my brother for the first time. When we approached Reese, my dad literally started yelling, "How did that get there? How did that get there?" My mom was confused, and then she saw it too. This coin that never left my dad's pocket was on my brother's chest, under the lapel of his jacket, and the coin was faith side up. The funeral director had heard my dad yelling and came running into the room, checking to see if everything was okay. My dad frantically asked again, "How did this coin get here?" And the funeral director simply said, "Mr. Imhoff, it was the only thing on your son when he arrived to us from the hospital." It was in that moment that we knew we had received a miracle, and the message was clear. Reese was telling us he was okay, and he was in heaven. Because I promise you, my dad never took the coin out of his pocket, and he definitely did not leave it on my brother's chest. But even with all of these signs, I want to be honest with you. Has having faith been easy for me? Absolutely not. Choosing faith is not easy. We believe that we are going to receive a miracle of Reese being healed on earth. Why shouldn't he receive that? He is literally the best person I know and was beating every odd. I will never understand that, and a part of me will always be upset and confused at God. But my brother taught me while he was here, and now with these signs from heaven, how to turn my pain into a purpose and his torture into a testimony. This coin has become more than just a message. It is now a symbol for me and my family that there is a heaven, that there is a reunion I have to look forward to, and that during my time on earth, I have a choice to choose faith over fear, just like my brother did. I know all of you are faced with challenges, some challenges that are happening right now. Some of you are going after your first job. Some of you are trying to get into graduate school. Some of us are still trying to figure out our major. And Coach Stuper is still trying to figure out what he's going to do in retirement. So as you go through these challenges, I hope that you choose faith. I'd like to give each of you 2 coins today. One for yourself as a reminder when times are tough, and one for you to give away to someone who you think could benefit from Reese's story and inspiration. Right now, there are over 10,000 coins in the world, and it is my family's goal to give thousands more. When Coach Stuper told me he wanted to bring the team to the field, he also told me that Reese was a part of our team. I couldn't help but think of our team's motto of humble excellence. Because Reese gave me a front seat to what humble excellence really looks like. It might take me a lifetime to do what he did and to achieve humble excellence, but I'm sure going to try my best to be the best teammate and person I can be moving forward. I have the utmost respect for each of you and your own spiritual belief systems and your journeys through life. I hope that today my brother's message stays with you and inspires you to choose faith over fear when you need it most. Thanks for giving me this gift today and letting me share my brother and best friend. Thank you all.
Well, I know there's been a lot of thank yous. When I tell people or try to teach people about grief and what that looks like, especially with losing, the most important person to you, one of your children, probably the best way to describe it is you have all this love for your child, all this love for Reese, and you don't have anywhere for it to go. And I'll tell you what, I'm looking out at you guys today, and it's one of the rare occasions that I feel like I have a place for my love to go. Like, it just feels so good to look around and see this amazing group of young men that have been just amazing to Max. I mean, my gosh, I've heard just only the most wonderful things. And to the coaches for, of course, taking us all under our wing. I do feel like Reese is a part of Yale today, so thank you, Coach Stuper. So with that said, we really want to get you guys fed before you get back on that bus. But before we do that, we're going to have just the team and the coaches go out to Reese Imhoff Field, sign, and we're going to take some photos. Then after that, the team's going to go into the first base dugout. We've got a couple bats, if you don't mind. Each of you sign your name on those bats. And then we're going to have you, we've got a great taco, like famous Southern California tacos right around the corner for you guys and get you fed. But again, thank you for being here. Thank you for giving me a place for my love today. It's just feels great. So thank you guys.